I have seen Marry Me Chicken all over the internet for over a year now. Loads of different versions using chicken, vegan versions using tofu, vegan chicken, seitan, I mean literally everything. It was actually the most popular recipe in 2022. I know, I'm running really late here. Today I'm making Marry Me Chicken, but I'm going to be making it entirely out of plants, and it's going to be a heck of a lot more healthy. Loaded with protein, low carb, and it's just as good. So let me show you how I made it. First, we're going to start with our main protein. I'm going to be using an extra firm tofu. Now, even though this is extra firm, we're going to go through a few quick steps to make sure that it's even extra firmer, extra firm and very dense. So let's drain the tofu, toss it into a tofu press while we prepare our sauce. Now, normally this sauce uses chicken broth, sun-dried tomatoes, and heavy cream, along with maybe some cheese. I'm getting rid of all of that. So in a blender, I'm going to combine a half cup of silken tofu, a quarter cup of nutritional yeast, 3/4 cup veggie broth, a pinch of salt, a squeeze of lemon juice, and a tablespoon of juice from sauerkraut. Or if you've followed me for a while and you bought lactic acid, I recommend using that. It's going to give it a stronger dairy-like flavor. That lactic acid kick is going to really up the taste here. So about a half teaspoon of lactic acid. Now blend. Now I'm just going to blend this together until it's nice and smooth, and while it's blending, I'm going to add in 1 to 3 cloves of garlic, depending on your flavor preference. This is going to kind of help emulsify everything together. And now while it's blending, I'm going to drizzle in 1 teaspoon of olive oil. This looks perfect. It's nice and creamy, and if you give it a taste, it's really good. Just on its own, just how this is, it's perfect. Now we just want to set this aside, and we're going to finish up with our firm tofu. Now I'm just going to remove the tofu from the tofu press, slice it down the middle, and cut it into 4 fillets. Kind of triangle-y looking things. I think that's going to be the best, but you can cut them how you like. Now I'm just going to pat them dry, cover them with a pinch of salt and a paper towel, and toss them into a microwave for about 2 minutes, which is plenty of time for today's sponsor.
Hungryroot is the online grocery service that makes it easy to eat healthy. You start by taking a short, fun quiz before signing up. It's pretty much how you like to eat, your dietary needs and goals. Like, do you want to discover new flavors or recipes, save time, money, or like eating more plants, all of the above. Then Hungryroot sends you personalized weekly deliveries filled with groceries, along with 10-minute recipes, which I love. When the delivery arrives at your doorstep, you can mix and match with what's in your fridge, or use the recipes that they put together for you. Today for lunch, I'm actually gonna be making their Southwestern protein bowl, so I'm gonna leave that stuff out. You can also edit your weekly deliveries and choose exactly what you'd like to receive, or let Hungryroot choose for you. That's what I do. They just choose for me. It's super convenient, they nail it every time, and it makes meal planning a breeze. Now, I've been using Hungryroot for over a year now, and it's awesome. It really takes the guesswork out of grocery shopping. I love the time I save, and I love trying all of the new things that they send. And because of that, I end up with a lot less food waste. Oh my gosh, it's so good. And they have a wide variety of options for all diets, like gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan, vegetarian, and more. Plus, the more you shop and cook with Hungryroot, the more personalized the recommendations get. And there are over 2,000 recipes to discover. So gang, Hungryroot has an amazing new offer. Use my code Saucestache40 over the next 72 hours for 40% off your first order and a free gift. Hungryroot, thanks for sponsoring today's video and for always sending me incredible groceries, and these recipes are awesome.
Okay, now we're back. The tofu is done in the microwave. It's super dry and extra firm. Give it a press to see if you could tell the difference, and you can also press the like and subscribe button if you liked that tip for extra dry firm tofu. Now I'm gonna get a large cast iron skillet hot over a medium heat and add a tablespoon of olive oil. In a bowl, I'm gonna add salt, pepper, garlic powder, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and my secret ingredient that makes anything taste like fried chicken.
MSG.
Now let's just whisk that together and coat the tofu in the seasoned mixture. Then we just need to toss that into the skillet in the oil, setting it down away from you so it doesn't splash. And we're just gonna cook that on both sides, constantly flipping until it's brown. Now, if you want the full recipe, they're all available on my website shortly after the video's launch over at Saucestache.com. I'm doing my best to keep up with these. I'm a one-man show here. Now we're just gonna transfer the finished tofu over to a plate. This looks really good. Now, before we finish this with our sauce, I've seen some people plate this with pasta, potatoes, even rice. But like I said, we're gonna keep this lean. We're keeping it really healthy, so I'm gonna be using asparagus. I think that's gonna be a good combination here. I'm just gonna coat them with a bit of olive oil, season with your favorite seasoning. For me, that's just salt, pepper, garlic powder, and a little smoked paprika. That goes really well with asparagus. And always remember, season your cutting board, not your asparagus. Then I'm just gonna gonna toss those into the air fryer for 3 minutes at 400 degrees, then toss them around and cook for 3 additional minutes. Now back to the skillet. We just need to add 2 tablespoons of oil to the pan. I'm using the oil from a jar of sun-dried tomatoes. And then we're gonna add in what we prepped earlier, which was 2 cloves of garlic finely chopped, 1 tablespoon of fresh thyme leaves, and 1 tablespoon of crushed red pepper flakes. Toss that in, let that cook for just a moment. You're gonna start smelling the peppers, and then add in a half cup of chopped sun-dried tomatoes. We're gonna stir that around, let that cook for just a moment, and then add our cream mixture. And we just need to bring that up to a simmer. Once it's simmering, we're gonna add the tofu back into the skillet, make sure it's covered in the sauce, and let that cook and simmer for about 5 minutes. Now at this point, your asparagus is done. Pull that out of the air fryer. We're gonna toss that onto a plate. I'm gonna sprinkle it with a little bit of lemon juice, then top with our Marry Me tofu, add the sauce, sprinkle on some fresh chopped basil, and this looks incredible. I mean, this looks really incredible. I'll be honest, I already tasted the sauce. It's phenomenal. But let's see what Monica has to say.
Oh, this looks delicious.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this looks so good. It smells good too.
We're already married, so that doesn't really matter, and I know you don't get that. This is Marry Me.
I do get it.
Oh, you know it? Ooh, did I tell you already?
Yeah, you told me earlier.
Okay, Marry Me Tofu.
Well, we'll have to do it again.
Oh yeah, we'll get married again after this.
Yeah.
So go ahead, get a bite,
This is awesome.
That's crazy.
That tastes like chicken.
It really does. And I didn't do anything to the tofu to make it taste like chicken. It's just the breading, the whole recipe together. Like once chicken is kind of plain on its own. So once you season it is what gives you those distinct flavors of chicken.
It tastes like chicken, like you were saying, like because of like the batter and the seasoning. The inside looks like chicken to me. It definitely has kind of like, it has a kick to it. It's a little spicy. I would say I'm trying to get the flavor of like this like sauce. It's almost like a spicy piccata. It's not super lemony or anything like that,
No.
you know, like how a piccata is lemony, but just a really nice, like kind of somewhat light cream sauce that's spicy. It's really good. I don't know how to like describe it, except it's got all those flavors.
Yeah,
and it's like delicious together.
Yeah.
We'll taste the thyme, for sure.
Get a piece of asparagus.
Yeah, you definitely need a knife with this.
Yeah, the tofu's firm. Very firm. It came out after pressing it, microwaving it, pressing it.
And the asparagus is awesome.
Yeah.
You cooked it good.
Yeah.
Cooked it great.
Lots of nice little hints of the seasoning in there. I can see why this recipe is called Marry Me.
Me
But
too.
the nice thing is if you make this version of it, I probably shouldn't say what I was about to say. If you make this version of it, you're not making a heavy cream, heavy cheese, super fattening version.
Right.
So you're not gonna marry me and then I'll get fat. Again. This is a high protein, this is a muscle building Marry Me tofu.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love it. I'm stoked about this.
Yeah, well, I would marry you with whatever tofu it was.
I know.
But this is delicious. I can't wait to have more of this.
I know, me too. Well, this isn't dinner. It's 2 o'clock right now, so.
I love it.
Yeah,
I'll have some more asparagus.
yeah, this is what I'm eating for lunch.
Okay.
This is awesome.
Don't
You're
get
just
that.
having a great time.
Don't get that on camera.